Hey everyone. Some people wake up and conquer the world. Others wake up and can't even conquer their thoughts. The difference? It's not luck. It's not talent. It's how they use their mind. A sharp mind is not something you're born with. It's something you build. But most people never learn how. They drown in noise. They chase distractions. They let fear and overthinking block their potential. But what if, today, you choose differently? What if you could unlock the hidden strength inside your brain and sharpen it like a weapon? In this video, I'm going to show you ways to unlock the power of a sharp mind. Not theories, not fluff, but real powerful practices that can make your mind focused, calm, and unstoppable. This isn't just brain training, it's a mental revolution. Ready to level up? 1. Protect your mental energy. Your brain is a machine of greatness, but even the strongest machine has limits. Each day, your mind wakes up ready to work. It makes thousands of small and big decisions, from what to eat, what to wear, to how to respond to someone's words. All of this takes mental energy, and if you use it the wrong way, your sharpness fades fast. Many people lose their mental power by spending it on things that are not important. Gossip, negative news, toxic people, endless scrolling, or overthinking every little thing. They don't realize that every small thing they allow into their mind has a cost. Highly successful people treat their mental energy like it's gold. They don't spend it carelessly. They protect it like their future depends on it. Because it does. They build mental walls. They choose silence over drama. They focus on facts, not noise. They don't argue to win. They walk away to stay wise. They ask themselves before reacting, is this worth my peace? Most times, the answer is no. To protect your mind is to protect your future. If your brain is busy with other people's problems, your goals will suffer. If you are constantly checking your phone, your attention dies. And when attention dies, creativity dies with it. Think about it. Your best ideas come when your mind is clear, calm, and present. That's not a mistake. That's what happens when your brain is safe, when your focus is respected. Mental energy also disappears when we think too much. Worrying about the past, fearing the future, comparing ourselves with others. These are heavy thoughts. They steal the sharpness of our brain. That's why strong minds practice mindfulness. They slow down. They breathe. They remind themselves, this moment is all I control. You don't need to be everywhere. You don't need to know everything. And you don't need to respond to everyone. Guard your peace. Protect your focus. Train your brain to be selective. Your mind is not a trash bin, it's a treasure box. What you allow in shapes who you become. Remember, a sharp mind is not made from doing more, but from doing less of what drains it and more of what builds it. And that begins with one decision. Protect your mental energy, because everything depends on it. 2. Train your focus. Like a muscle. Focus is not just something you have, it's something you build. Just like your body gets stronger with exercise, your focus gets sharper when you train it daily. But here's the truth. In today's world, distractions are everywhere. Your phone lights up every minute. Notifications steal your attention. Your mind wants to jump from one thing to another, and slowly, without noticing, you lose the ability to stay with one task, one thought, or one goal. That's how focus becomes weak. But the sharpest minds, the successful ones, don't let that happen. They treat their focus like a sacred tool. They train it every single day. They create habits that force the mind to slow down, to stay present, to stay locked in. They give their full attention to one thing at a time, and when they feel the urge to switch, they fight it. That's the workout. That's how you build mental strength. Start small. When you read a book, don't just flip through pages. Focus. When you talk to someone, don't check your phone. Be fully there. When you work on your dream, close the tabs, turn off distractions, and dive deep. Even if it's just for 10 minutes. That's how you build mental stamina. Over time, you'll notice something powerful. Your thoughts become clearer. Your work becomes better, and your mind becomes stronger. Think of focus like a flashlight. If the light is spread in all directions, it's weak. But if you point it in one direction, it becomes powerful enough to cut through darkness. That's what true focus does. It makes your actions stronger, your learning deeper, your creativity sharper. It's not about doing more. It's about doing what matters with full attention. The more you train your focus, the less your mind will be pulled around by noise. You'll stop reacting. You'll start creating. You'll stop scrolling. You'll start building. And every time you resist distraction, you're telling your brain, this is what matters. And the brain listens. So if you want a sharp mind, train your focus. Not just once, not just sometimes. Train it every single day until it becomes unshakable. 3. Feed your brain with the right input. Your brain is always listening, always learning. Every word you hear, every post you read, every video you watch, it's all going in. And over time, what you put into your brain shapes how you think, how you speak, how you act, and how you feel about the world around you. That's why highly successful people are careful, very careful, about what they allow into their mental space. Think of your brain like a garden. If you plant healthy seeds, books, deep conversations, powerful stories, and ideas that challenge you, the garden will grow strong. Your thoughts will become richer, your ideas more powerful, and your vision more focused. But if you fill your brain with noise, gossip, drama, endless scrolling, and negativity, you're planting weeds, and weeds grow fast. Successful people don't just protect their time, they protect their input. They don't let the news fill their minds with fear. They don't waste their attention on arguments that don't matter. They choose content that feeds their growth, podcasts that inspire, books that teach, people who push them higher. Every piece of input is chosen with care. Start asking yourself, what did I feed my brain this morning? Was it something that made me smarter, or something that made me feel worse? What did I listen to today? Who did I allow into my thoughts? Every single day, you have the power to train your mind by controlling your input. Here's the secret. Your mind becomes what it consumes. You want to think clearly? Read more. You want to stay motivated? Listen to people who are doing what you dream of. You want to become confident? Avoid content that makes you feel small, because when your brain is fed with rich, focused, and empowering input, it begins to grow in ways you never imagined. You start making better decisions. You start creating instead of reacting. You start becoming the version of yourself you've always wanted to be. So feed your brain with care, because the input you choose today becomes the output of your life tomorrow. 4. Learn to think in silence. In a world that never stops talking, silence has become rare, but the most powerful minds, the ones that lead, innovate, and stay grounded, are the ones that know how to think in silence. This isn't just about being quiet. It's about listening deeply, not to others, but to yourself. Every day we're bombarded with noise, notifications, opinions, headlines, endless content. Our minds are constantly reacting. Rarely do we stop and sit with our thoughts. But success isn't just about doing more. It's about thinking better. And better thinking only happens in moments of peace. Highly successful people understand this. They create silence on purpose. In the morning before the world wakes up, during quiet walks, in a room with no distractions. In that space, they reflect, they question, they solve problems, they think clearly about what matters and what doesn't. This silence becomes their secret weapon, because when your mind is quiet, it sharpens. You start hearing the truth behind your fears. You see which ideas are real and which are just noise. You become the observer, not just the reactor. Silence also allows your brain to breathe. It creates room for creativity. It gives space for ideas to grow. It's not boring. It's building. In silence, your thoughts align. Your goals return to focus. Your emotions settle. So start small. Maybe 5 minutes each morning. No phone, no music. Just you and your mind. Let your thoughts wander. Let your questions rise. Trust the silence to teach you what noise never can. Because in that silence, you'll start hearing the voice that's been buried under all the noise. Your true voice. The one that knows exactly what you want, what you fear, and what you're meant to become. Learn to think in silence, and the world will begin to make sense. 5. Master the art of delayed reaction. Successful people don't respond to everything right away. They pause. They take a breath. They wait. Not because they are slow, but because they are in control. They understand that reacting too quickly, with anger, fear, or ego, can destroy years of progress in just seconds. We live in a fast world. Everyone wants quick answers, fast replies, instant opinions. But that speed often leads to mistakes. The mind doesn't think clearly when it's rushing. Words come out that we later regret. Decisions are made without depth. But the sharp mind knows how to wait before reacting. This is not weakness. It's strength with discipline. Imagine receiving a rude message. The average person replies in seconds, full of emotion. But a strong mind? It reads, breathes, waits. It lets the emotion pass. It observes what the situation really is. And then it responds. With calm, with clarity, with power. This habit is what helps leaders stay composed under pressure. It's what allows thinkers to stay focused in chaos. It's the reason some people never get dragged into drama or regret. They have trained their mind to slow down just enough to protect their energy, their words, and their decisions. If you want to improve your communication, your focus, and your leadership, master this art. Practice holding your reaction. When someone pushes your buttons, don't push back immediately. Pause. Think. Ask yourself, what matters more, being right now or being wise later? The pause between stimulus and response is where your growth lives. In that small gap, you are no longer a slave to emotion. You become the master of your own mind. That's where power begins. So when the pressure rises, slow down. Delay your reaction. Think. Then respond with purpose, not with impulse. That's how sharp minds stay sharp. 6. Kill distraction. Before it kills you. Distraction is not always loud. It doesn't always shout. Sometimes it whispers. It sneaks in quietly. A ping, a scroll, a thought. You say, just 5 minutes, but 5 becomes 50. Then your focus is gone, your energy is low, and your goals? Forgotten. Distraction steals more than time. It steals your mental clarity, your emotional power, and your future success. You must treat distraction like a thief, because that's what it is. It walks into your day, uninvited, and robs you of the most precious thing you have, your attention. And without attention, there is no growth, no learning, no mastery, just motion without direction, work without meaning, effort without reward. The people who rise above in this world are not just smart. They're guarded. They protect their mind like a warrior guards his sword. They don't just try to focus. They build a system to stay focused. They delete the apps they don't need. They block the noise. They don't open 5 tabs. They open 1, and they stay there until the work is done. Your brain is not built to jump between tasks. Every time you shift, your mental energy drops. That's science. That's reality. Multitasking is not power. It's poison. It leaves your mind scattered, your emotions tired, your day wasted. And over time, it becomes a habit, a dangerous one. Because once distraction becomes normal, deep thinking becomes rare. You must train yourself to love silence, love stillness. Because in silence, the mind sharpens. In stillness, you start to think deeper. Most people live reacting to messages, to trends, to problems that aren't even theirs. But a strong mind chooses what to react to. It chooses what to block out. That's the difference between someone who lives on purpose and someone who drifts. So ask yourself, what are the things that steal your focus every day? List them. Face them. Then remove them. Turn off the notifications. Keep your phone in another room. Use your mornings to create, not consume. Build mental walls. Because without them, your attention is open to every small thing. And small things over time destroy big goals. Remember, you don't rise by doing more. You rise by doing less. With more focus. If you want a sharper mind, a calmer life, a more successful path, you must kill distraction before it kills your potential. Because a distracted mind can never build a powerful life. And a distracted life can never reach the top. 7. Use boredom to build mental clarity. We live in a noisy world. A world where every second is filled with entertainment, updates, news, and distractions. We are taught to hate boredom, to run from it. But here's a powerful truth. Boredom is not your enemy. It's your hidden doorway to clarity. When your mind is always stimulated, it never rests. It jumps from one thing to another like a monkey swinging from branch to branch. But when you allow yourself to sit in silence, when you give yourself time with no music, no screen, no noise, something magical happens. Your brain begins to clean itself. You start to notice your own thoughts. You hear your true voice again. That voice buried under notifications and noise. This is where real ideas are born. This is where deep thinking begins. The greatest minds in history, Einstein, Newton, Da Vinci, they weren't afraid of boredom. They used it. They embraced slow walks, silent mornings, long thinking hours. They knew something we've forgotten. Boredom is a tool. It's where the brain finally has space to connect ideas, solve problems, and return to calm. Most people never get that space. They grab their phones the second they feel bored. But high performers? They do the opposite. They protect boredom. They make time for it. Why? Because they understand this. A sharp mind is not always thinking faster. It's thinking deeper. And you can't go deep in a noisy mind. So next time you feel bored, don't escape it. Sit with it. Let your mind wander. Go for a walk without your phone. Stare out the window. Let your thoughts breathe. It will feel strange at first, even uncomfortable. But soon, you'll begin to feel clearer, stronger, more in control of your thoughts. Mental clarity is not something you force. It's something you allow. And boredom is the path. Let your mind breathe, and it will show you ideas and answers you didn't even know were there. Because silence is not empty. It's full of wisdom. 8. Let curiosity be your daily fuel. Have you ever watched a child explore the world? They ask endless questions. They touch everything. They wonder about everything. Why? Because they are naturally curious. They want to learn. They want to understand. And that curiosity is what helps their brain grow fast. But here's the truth. Successful people never lose that curiosity. They protect it. Curiosity is more than just asking questions. It's a mindset. It means waking up every day with a hunger to understand more. It means looking at the world with fresh eyes, even if it's something you've seen 1,000 times before. When your mind is curious, it stays open. It becomes sharp, alert, and always ready to learn something new. Most people grow older and stop asking questions. They get stuck in routines. They believe they already know enough. But the most successful people, the most brilliant minds, know this. The day you stop being curious is the day your mind stops growing. That's why they read books. That's why they talk to new people, travel, explore, test, and study. They don't wait for answers. They chase them. Curiosity gives you energy. It gives you direction. It makes boring things interesting. Even failure becomes exciting because a curious mind always asks, "Why did this happen? And what can I learn from it?" That's how curiosity turns every moment, good or bad, into a chance to grow. You don't need to know everything. You just need to want to know more. Start by asking better questions. Why does this work like that? How can I improve this? What if I tried it another way? Write your questions. Follow your interests. Let your mind wander. Not to waste time, but to discover something new. Because in the end, a curious mind is never bored, never stuck, and never weak. It's always alive, always learning, and always moving forward. Let curiosity become your compass, and it will guide you to places you never imagined. 9. Reflect every night before you sleep. The day moves fast. You wake up, rush through tasks, face problems, speak with people. And by the time the sun sets, your body is tired and your brain is even more tired. You lie in bed and your thoughts wander, not with purpose, but with noise. But a sharp mind cannot grow in this noise. If you want to train your mind to be clear, calm, and intelligent, then you must pause. You must reflect. Reflection is not complicated, but it requires honesty. It means sitting with yourself at the end of each day, even just for 5 minutes. No phone, no background noise. Just silence and presence. Ask yourself simple but powerful questions. What did I learn today? What did I avoid? What made me angry, and why? What am I proud of? What can I change tomorrow? You don't need to write a long journal. You don't need to be perfect. All you need is your full attention. Let your mind scan the day like a movie. The words you spoke, the actions you took, the mistakes you made. And don't judge yourself. Just notice. This noticing is where the brain becomes sharper. Because now you are no longer living blind. You're paying attention to your own life. That's rare. Most people move through life with no awareness. They repeat the same patterns, make the same decisions, and feel the same emotions, over and over. They never stop to ask why. But when you reflect every night, you break that cycle. You stop your brain from running on automatic. And instead, you teach it to think, to question, to learn. Even your worst day becomes a lesson. Even your quietest day becomes a page in your story. Reflection connects the moments of your life into something meaningful. And meaning is fuel for a powerful mind. This habit also improves memory. When you look back on your day with care, your brain stores that information deeper. Your focus becomes sharper the next morning. Your decisions improve. You become the kind of person who doesn't just live. You grow daily. So tonight, before you close your eyes, give yourself this small gift. 5 minutes of peace. 5 minutes of truth. 5 minutes with your own mind. Because the people with the sharpest minds aren't the ones who work the hardest. They're the ones who learn from everything. And that learning starts when the day ends. 10th, practice mindful observation. Most people pass through life without really seeing it. They move fast, eyes open, but awareness closed. They hear sounds, but never listen. They speak, but rarely notice how their words feel. Their minds are full, but not sharp. This is the silent enemy of intelligence, distraction. But the sharpest minds in history, the minds that created, solved, and inspired, all had one quiet habit in common: mindful observation. Mindful observation is not about watching everything. It's about seeing with full presence. It means becoming deeply aware of the moment you are in, without rushing to judge, label, or control it. It's the skill of noticing small things. The way someone moves their hands when they talk. The way your breath changes when you're nervous. The rhythm of footsteps in the street. The taste of food. The weight of silence in a room. These moments seem small, but they train your brain to stay awake. When you observe mindfully, your brain begins to stretch. It starts making stronger connections. You begin to see patterns in behavior, words, problems, and even in yourself. This habit improves memory, emotional control, and decision-making. Not because it gives you more information, but because it gives you clearer vision. A sharp mind isn't one that knows everything. It's one that notices what matters. Think of a scientist. Think of a painter. Think of a great leader or athlete. What do they all have in common? They see what others miss. They spot the detail, the shift, the subtle signal. And that awareness gives them an edge. That edge is not magic. It's not born. It's trained. Slowly, gently, and daily. Through the habit of mindful observation. You can train this skill every day. The next time you talk to someone, really listen. Don't plan your answer. Don't judge their words. Just be present. Watch a sunset, not with your camera, but with your eyes. Eat slowly. Feel textures. Read one page of a book and ask yourself what truly stood out. These simple acts bring your brain out of autopilot and into conscious living. The brain is like a mirror. If you don't clean it, it becomes cloudy. Thoughts bounce around, but nothing sticks. Ideas pass, but they don't grow. But when you observe mindfully, it's like cleaning that mirror every day. Slowly, you begin to see the world with sharpness, calmness, and purpose. Because the smartest people are not the ones who speak the most. They are the ones who notice in silence. And in that silence, the mind becomes powerful. You are not here just to survive. You are here to grow, to think, to rise. Your mind is not just a tool. It is your power, your compass, your secret weapon. And like any great power, it must be trained, respected, and used with purpose. Every sharp mind was once a distracted one. Every wise person once struggled with confusion. But what made the difference? They chose to fight back. They chose to sharpen their thinking, to break old habits, and to take control of their thoughts. One moment at a time. It's not easy. There will be days your mind feels foggy, days when your thoughts race, when you doubt, when your focus fades. But that's when it matters the most. That's when you must stop, breathe, and remember who you are. A calm mind is not found, it is built. A sharp mind is not a gift, it is earned. So take these lessons, not as simple rules, but as reminders that your thoughts shape your path, that your focus creates your future, and that you, yes you, hold the key to unlocking a mind so sharp it cuts through doubt, fear, and every barrier between you and your greatness. Now go, not with fear, but with fire. You've seen what a sharp mind can do. Now it's your turn to sharpen yours. If this video helped open your mind, even just a little, don't keep it to yourself. Share it with someone who needs clarity, someone who wants to grow. Let's spread the power of sharp thinking, one person at a time. Hit subscribe for more life-changing lessons, simple English, and deep wisdom. Let's sharpen the world, mind by mind. See you in the next one.